Sardesai.
Hello and welcome to Face the Nation, the show that asks you the big question of the day, looks for an answer from you, the viewer. I'm Rajdeep Sardesai. On the show tonight, the Quattro Key crisis deepens for the Manmohan Singh government. The Prime Minister says his government had nothing to do with the defreezing of the accounts. But the Supreme Court steps in and orders the government to stop the Italian businessman from withdrawing the money from his accounts. Quattro Key's accounts were reactivated on January 11th following a UK court order. A story first broken on CNN IBN. Under fire is Law Minister H.R. Bharadwaj, the man who some say recommended the account defreeze, but the CBI today has denied it, saying the Law Minister had no role to play. The BJP is launching a nationwide campaign, they say, from tomorrow. Quattro Key says he's a victim of an anti-Gandhi family campaign. Brings us to our question of the day. Have the beneficiaries of Bofors got away with the money? Type QOTDY for yes or QOTDN for no. SMS us at 2622. You can also vote online on ibnlive.com. Well, joining us for the discussion tonight, Prashant Bhushan, senior lawyer, author of the original book on Bofors. We're also joined by D.R. Karthikeyan, former director of the CBI. I'm also joined by Arun Jaitley, spokesperson of the BJP, and we hope to be joined in just a minute by Abhishek Manu Singhvi, the Congress spokesperson. But before we begin the discussion, a quick look at some of the other stories of the day. India 403 for no loss on day 4 of the Lahore test. Virender Sehwag continued his assault on the Pakistani bowling and scored the second fastest 200 in test cricket. He and Rahul Dravid are now on the verge of breaking a 50-year-old record for the highest opening partnership in test cricket. They're just 10 runs away. Meanwhile, a key accused in the Delhi bomb blast has been killed in an encounter in Baramulla and Kashmir. The encounter was a joint operation of the Delhi police, J&K police and the army. Abu Huzaifa, who has been killed, was a commander of the Lashkar. The Bangalore police also say they've arrested a suspect linked to last month's terror attack at the Indian Institute of Science. 35-year-old Habib was arrested at Almaty in Bagalkot district in North Karnataka. Police say they've come to know of a plot to blow up an atomic power plant and a dam in Karnataka. Well, it's time now for our top story. The UPA government launched its Save Bharadwaj campaign today. The CBI gave the Law Minister a clean chit and it took the blame for Quattro Key's bank defreezing. The Prime Minister also said that his government had given no orders to the CBI. But the big question, has Quattro Key already removed that money from the British bank? Suman Chakrabarti, who broke that story last week, takes a closer look at what now looks, for some at least, like a cover-up.
The UPA government's efforts to bail out their law minister from the Bofors mess now center around the CBI. 5 days after the controversy first broke out, the CBI has now done a U-turn, saying there was no proof so far that the London accounts were linked to the Bofors payoffs, and Additional Solicitor General B. Datta was in fact sent on their advice to defreeze the accounts of Ottavio Quattro Key.
Neither the DOPT nor the Law Ministry have actually acted in this connection. It was a decision on the part of CBI.
For Law Minister Hansraj Bharadwaj, this is good news. But the question everyone is asking is, where is the money that was stashed in the two accounts in London? Is it in or has it been transferred? Not even the CBI is clear whether the money has moved out or not. But the Supreme Court is not ready to listen, admitting a PIL the Apex Court ordered for status quo to be restored, which means that the Indian government should ensure that the money stashed in the two bank accounts in London should stay there.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने केंद्र सरकार और सीबीआई को नोटिस जारी किया है.
But government sources have told CNN IBN that the money has already been removed.
In a last-ditch effort, the CBI tried to do some damage control and save the Law Ministry. But several questions remained unanswered in the CBI press conference.
Whether India's Additional Solicitor General exceeded his brief or not. How the CBI still insists that it has evidence against Quattro Key. The CBI also agreed that the Additional Solicitor General of India, B. Datta, who is in the center of the controversy, has indeed scuttled their plans last year when the investigating agency tried to declare Ottavio Quattro Key an absconder. But this is only the tip of the iceberg. There are several details that have not come out, including on what basis the CBI believe this money is not linked to the Bofors payoff. The CBI may have taken the responsibility, but the weight of the allegations appear to be too heavy. In New Delhi, with Meetu Jain and Ashok Bagria, Suman Chakraborty.
Well, time now to get straight to our discussion on Face This Nation. We call this section Crossfire. Right, have the Bofors beneficiaries got away with the money? Let's first have a look at what the nation is saying at the moment in our SMS poll. 97% of you are saying yes. An overwhelming majority are saying yes, the beneficiaries have got away. Let's now look at the big question and come straight to our panel. My first question, is Quattrocchi really a victim of a political campaign, as the Italian businessman said today in Milan? Arun Jaitley, that question is directed straight for you. Mr. Quattrocchi is saying he is a victim of a political campaign because he is close to the Gandhi family.
Well, I am glad he has at least admitted his close proximity to the Gandhi family, because the Congress is a little ashamed of admitting that. The fact remains that if you see the charge sheet in the Bofors case, which was filed in October 1999, three facts which are clear. One is the close proximity to the powers that be. Two, that Mr. Quattrocchi was behind a company called AE Services, which swung the contract and got a sizable amount of commission. And three, the bank documents of Switzerland which have confirmed that monies were indeed paid into the account of AE Services. The fact that Mr. Quattrocchi chose to abscond from India when the names were disclosed by the Swiss authorities, the fact when the CBI's appeal for extradition was pending in the Malaysian court, he chose to run away from Malaysia to Italy, is a conduct entirely of a person who's an accused person.
His
Now,
argument,
today I heard a
Mr. Jaitley, his argument is that the BJP for 20 years has been raking up this issue. You found no evidence against him, but because he was close to the Gandhi family, you've tried somehow to nail him in this.
Well, according to me, the evidence is contained in the charge sheet. The evidence is all there in the charge sheet. The charge sheet is still pending. The evidence is the basis for a red corner notice for him. The evidence is the basis for an extradition proceedings against him. That is not by the BJP, that's by the CBI. And unfortunately, by the same CBI, which is today issuing testimonials to him.
Well, I'm going to come to the CBI, but Abhishek Manu Singhvi, you want to respond to that? Ottavio Quattrocchi says that he's been a victim of a political campaign. Is that a stand that the Congress would endorse? Would you back Ottavio Quattrocchi?
There is no question of responding to Mr. Quattrocchi or indeed to Arun Jaitley as far as the Congress party is concerned. The Congress party stand is very clear. In this entire episode, what are we to do with it? Nothing whatsoever. Number one, the Congress has always said, please punish the guilty if they are guilty. Please take proceedings according to law. Do not stop the law in any manner if it is proper to go according to the law.
Sir, 20 years have passed.
We have
20
not
years have
interfered
passed
in any
and we hear
manner.
the refrain that the law will take its own course. The country seems to be
that's not
skeptical.
the refrain. No.
The country seems to be skeptical of this.
The point on the contrary is that Mr. Jaitley's party is unnecessarily trying for last 20 years to link the Congress and the Gandhi family with the word Bofors. For 20 years, they've suffered repeated setbacks and rebuffs on that count. That's all that we are concerned with. Don't sensationalize the issue and drag the name of the Congress and link it to Bofors when you've been rebuffed every time by a court.
Are you saying?
As far as other people than the Congress are concerned, please go all ahead as per law and take whatever actions available to law. By the way, Mr. Jaitley's party should remember, they were there for 5 years. They fought the extradition case in Malaysia. They had the resources in India. They had the CBI. I did not see much progress in getting people extradited or convicting or punishing people.
I think that's an important point, Mr. Jaitley. Please respond to that. Mr. Jaitley, respond to what Dr. Singhvi says. For 5 years you were in power, or 6 years you were in power. You didn't do enough to extradite Mr. Quattrocchi. Don't rake it up today, because the fact is there was no evidence at the end of the day.
Well, Rajdeep, let's be very clear. 1987 to 89, the Congress was in power, no FIR. The first non-Congress government comes in, National Front, an FIR, a letter rogatory, the freezing of accounts. Thereafter, you have a government by the Congress party support, Mr. Chandrasekhar's government, which tried to get the FIR itself quashed. Then you had Mr. Madhav Singh Solanki try to scuttle the investigation. Then when the Swiss informed you during Mr. Narasimha Rao's government, the Congress helped Quattrocchi to escape. And it was the NDA's government which gave CBI the full freedom, which in October 1999 filed a charge sheet with this entire evidence. Mr. Quattrocchi absconded. It hardly lies for the Congress party, on account of the close proximity of whose leaders Mr. Quattrocchi swung the contract, to get him to first abscond and then say you failed to get the Malaysian authorities to send him to India. Please don't forget, when his appeal was pending of the CBI in the Malaysian court, he absconded from there also to Italy.
Okay, I just want to come to my second placard, because this is important. I want to bring in the lawyers, the other lawyer in our studio at the moment, and the CBI director. Did the law ministry bypass the CBI? Well, the Prime Minister today said no question of the government being intervening in it. Should we take the Prime Minister at face value? The Prime Minister says nothing was done under government orders. He's distanced himself from the entire defreezing of Quattrocchi's accounts.
I don't know what he means by the government, but it certainly appears that the law ministry took an active interest in this matter. And the statement today of the CBI director seems to be at odds with what has been appearing earlier about what the other CBI officers have been saying. It appears that the CBI director is trying to shield the government.
You want to respond to that as a former CBI director, Mr. Karthikeyan, that the CBI ultimately is an instrument of the government, that it's being manipulated by the government, that autonomy frankly doesn't exist despite Supreme Court judgment, despite what the Central Vigilance Commissioner says. The CBI in this country is manipulated by the government.
Well, to that general question I would respond like this. CBI is not as independent as, we say, Election Commission of India or the Chief Vigilance Commission. CBI do depend on the government for their postings of officers, giving extension to the officers who are there every time they have to go to the government and approach the ministry. And to that extent you can say that law, yes, as per the law, the CBI director is not supposed to seek advice, instructions, allow interference from anyone else.
Right.
And that is the position of law.
But do you find this case strange?
And as
Sir,
this matter is...
Mr. Karthikeyan, on the specifics of this case, as a former director of CBI, do you find it strange? 4 days ago, the CBI says we will do whatever it takes to extradite Mr. Quattrocchi. We have evidence against him. Today they say we have no evidence linking his London accounts to the Bofors payoffs.
No, I only read the CBI statement in the press earlier. Only today evening I saw the statement of the Joint Director CBI. And in any case, if you are asked these questions, perhaps we could have discussed in more detail this morning or yesterday. Now the Supreme Court is seized of the matter, we have to be very restrained in our comments, because the truth will come out before the Supreme Court.
Okay,
and as far as this position of the law officer going is concerned, I mean from what appears in the media, perhaps if the government had also allowed a CBI officer to accompany the Additional Solicitor General as requested by the CBI themselves, I think much of this confusion and allegations...
Well, there's even confusion over that, because the CBI today says that they asked the Additional Solicitor General to go to the Crown Prosecution Service. There's a lot of confusion, but I want to come to the third big question. If the Prime Minister...
They have not denied.
Yeah, okay.
They have not denied that they had asked the CBI officer also to go with him.
Right. My third big question, if the Prime Minister didn't know, and this is a crucial question for the entire country, if the Prime Minister didn't know, then who is controlling the Union Cabinet? My straight question to you, Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, you say the Congress party has nothing to do with it. But it's a Congress-led government. The Prime Minister runs the Department of Personnel and Training, under which the CBI really comes. Shouldn't the Prime Minister take some responsibility for what decisions are taken?
Rajdeep, I hope you appreciate the irony and indeed the paradox of your question. The Congress party is not even aware of all this. I think that's the thing to be praised and endorsed. That shows that we are not concerned, we didn't interfere in any manner in the working of CBI. Indeed, the Prime Minister, for whom I don't speak, and the facts of the matter, whether and in what manner the file travelled, have to be checked by you from the government offices. But when the Prime Minister says that he did not interfere at all or did not know, that again is a sign that he did not interfere in the process of the CBI.
Are you saying
and
therefore that the Prime Minister of this country,
ministry...
So are you saying, is the implication that the Prime Minister of the
CBI,
country has no problem
Rajdeep,
if the accounts of Mr. Quattrocchi are defreezed?
Please understand the point. The point...
20 crores get defreezed, you have no problem.
Please appreciate the point. Let me complete my point. The CBI, which is given the only official statement today, everything earlier has been only press.
Yes.
Today's the official statement says that they took the decision to say what they said on the basis of their understanding of the file,
right,
and they decided to send an officer abroad. Obviously, they did not claim to have consulted the Prime Minister.
Okay.
And the Prime Minister on his own hand has not interfered.
Okay.
Now, just look at the Panchtantra situation. If the Prime Minister says I interfered, it is wrong. If he says I have not interfered, it is wrong.
Right.
And the personnel ministry is only administrative in charge.
Okay, let me,
things like travel
I must bring in Mr.
It is not
Jaitley.
interfering with the CBI.
No, I must bring in Mr. Jaitley, because Mr. Jaitley, the CBI was very categorical. We took this decision without the government's orders. The Prime Minister didn't know about it. The CBI is autonomous. Don't bring in the Prime Minister into this. Effectively, that's what the CBI seems to be saying. This was our decision. We have no evidence linking the London accounts of Quattrocchi to the Bofors payoffs.
Well, I think the CBI has successfully scored a self-goal today. The CBI has considerably adversely affected its own credibility today. What the CBI has been saying in the last 5 days is entirely different. I have seen both official and unofficial statements of the CBI to this effect. I have read articles in the newspaper, one of the newspapers, the Indian Express, saying that they are in possession of documents which indicate that they were not entirely happy with what the government really was doing in this particular matter. The CBI officer was not allowed to accompany the Additional Solicitor General. The CBI, which has an FIR, a charge sheet, a red corner notice, an extradition proceeding against Mr. Quattrocchi, suddenly starts finding virtues. It's the CBI which got these accounts frozen in 2003. How does suddenly CBI start issuing testimonials that this has nothing to do with Bofors?
Right. In fact, Dr. Singhvi, we have those documents as well, which our correspondent Shuman Chakrabarti has been showing over the last few days. The CBI didn't want to let go of this case. They in fact opposed it. So, I mean, someone has to take, the question comes, who is accountable? The taxpayers' money is gone.
Quite frankly,
Quattrocchi is the beneficiary. 96% of the country is saying the Bofors money has gone. Who is accountable? That's all I ask, sir.
see, I think we need to keep this within perspective. Most of your questions should really be directed to those who have the facts on the files of CBI. You really should have a CBI official there. But I must say that whatever is being said by various people are based on speculation and press reports. Are we expected to believe the press reports or an official statement of a CBI given today?
You won't believe the documents.
They decided and they said. Now the point of the matter is, you may be showing. No, but you may be showing a point which is a point in a sequence where some officials took a different view.
Okay.
We all understand that in any department there are differences at different stages. The final view of the CBI is one. Have you shown the final document in the final version? Obviously, down the line, everybody knows the department, you may have different views.
Okay, I want to get a final word.
The point is,
I want to get a final word in from Mr. Jaitley because he has to leave us. He's the man in the center of it for the BJP, so he's going to another channel, I believe. But Mr. Jaitley, it appears that you're the only person taking this issue forward. Even within your own party, we don't see the same pressure being applied in this case. Where do you want to take this case? Are you calling for Hansraj Bharadwaj's resignation? What do you really want? What does the BJP want now?
Well, I think, first of all, let me clarify, the whole party stands together. I am merely a spokesman on behalf of the party. The party is holding a demonstration tomorrow, which the party president, Mr. Rajnath Singh itself is leading. As far as we are concerned, the law minister must go. He has violated the law, he's violated the constitution, he's interfered in a matter in which he had no jurisdiction. As far as the Prime Minister and the UPA chairperson are concerned, I think their silence, and now late in the evening today, in the northeast in Guwahati, the Prime Minister's very carefully drafted statement which he read does not really inspire confidence.
So you will still ask for
procedure is being carved out to help Quattrocchi merely because he happened to be close to the powers that be. Quattrocchi did not succeed in his legal remedies in England. He has turned now to his political friends for getting relief in relation to these two accounts. The party stands one and the entire party is going to protest as far as this issue is concerned.
So you will keep going and keep pushing for the law minister's head, is it? You're going to make this a political battle. 10 seconds.
I think it's a moral and an ethical battle. It will be raised both within and outside Parliament. It will be raised on the streets. It will be raised through the media.
Right, Mr. Jaitley, thanks very much for joining us. Well, our other guests are still with us. We're going to continue with the discussion. We're going to ask you the other big questions that the Quattrocchi controversy and the Bofors controversy, first broken by CNN IBN, has raised. Keep watching Face the Nation. You're watching Face the Nation. The question we've asked you tonight, have the beneficiaries of Bofors got away with the money? Type QOTDY for yes or QOTDN for no. SMS us 2622. You can also vote online on ibnlive.com. At the moment, 95%, still the numbers holding, saying yes, the beneficiaries have got away. On our panel, the Congress's spokesperson Abhishek Manu Singhvi, former director CBI, Mr. Karthikeyan. We're also in the studio joined by Prashant Bhushan, who's written one of the authoritative books on the entire Bofors controversy, also senior counsel, of course, at the Supreme Court. We were also with, a moment ago, with Arun Jaitley. Well, let's have a look, before we return to the discussion, what the Prime Minister had to say when his first reactions really to the Bofors controversy. He was speaking in Guwahati. He said the government had followed all procedures relating to Quattrocchi's accounts.
Actions relating to both the freezing and the unfreezing of these accounts have been taken at the level of the CBI in consultation with law officers as per established procedure. Neither the freezing was done under government orders, nor has the defreezing been done under government orders. These matters are exclusively under the functional jurisdiction of CBI, into which government does not interfere.
Well, that was the Prime Minister's very clear statement in Guwahati. But it still brings us to some of the big questions left unanswered. Let's look at the next big question. Has the CBI failed to deliver in the Bofors case? Let me come to you, Prashant Bhushan. You've written a book, The Selling of a Nation, Bofors 1990. Since then, nothing has really happened in the case. The Delhi High Court has acquitted the Hindujas twice over. Quattrocchi also, you found no hard evidence linking him to the Bofors payoffs. The fact is that the law has taken its course and you found nothing in it.
Actually, when I wrote that book, the Swiss documents had not yet come. Yet the very first paragraph of my book says that just the circumstantial evidence of how the contract was awarded and the kind of cover-up that took place and who was involved in the cover-up was adequate, in my view, for a court of law to convict Rajiv Gandhi in this case.
But the fact is that Rajiv Gandhi, in the end, the court said they found no evidence against Mr. Gandhi, there was no evidence against the Hindujas. We've got to believe the courts. Who else do we believe in this land?
Well, this is not the first time that the Delhi High Court has done this. This is the fourth time. The first time was on some Mr. H.S. Chaudhary's petition, they quashed the FIR. Second time on Vin Chadda's petition, again they quashed the FIR. Third time on Hinduja's petition, that before filing the charge sheet, the CBI did not take the permission of the CVC, again they quashed the charge sheet. All three times, all three times, when the matter was taken up to the Supreme Court reversed the High Court judgment and passed severe strictures against the High Court. This is now the fourth time on a completely ridiculous judgment has been given by the High Court, saying that just because the documents which have come are only authenticated photocopies and not the original documents, the Swiss bank documents, this is not admissible in evidence. It is these bank documents which show that the money from Bofors in connection with this deal had gone to the Hindujas and to Quattrocchi.
So you're questioning the manner in which the Delhi High Court has operated in these judgments?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me bring Mr. Karthikeyan. Mr. Karthikeyan, there's a question mark over the CBI also. 20 years almost have gone, the CBI has simply failed to deliver. Who do you blame for it? The CBI, the political authority, who?
I would say that the system, basically. And as far as Rajiv Gandhi is concerned, I never handled that case directly, but I have seen the papers. I think he was maligned, much maligned, and it's all because of mishandling by the over-jealous people who are more loyal than the king. He was maligned in public eye. I personally believe, I think he's one of the most decent, courageous, committed politicians we ever had in this country, but in the process of law, he became a victim also in the process.
Right.
Quattrocchi is concerned, he is a fugitive from law. He is a fugitive from law. He is wanted by law. He is evading the legal process very successfully and making advantage loopholes. And about the political interference at various stages, I am not in a position to comment, but he has to be brought to book. He has to be extradited. He has to stand trial.
How is he?
Clear in my mind.
I very quickly want from you, how is he going to be extradited after the CBI says they have no evidence linking his accounts to Bofors?
No, I don't think so, because I checked with the CBI officers in the evening. They have not said there is no evidence against him. Certainly not. They are going to pursue the process. They are going to extradite him. They are going to prosecute him.
Well,
the only thing from what has appeared in the papers and the statement of the CBI officer and others is that they have not been able to establish direct link between the Bofors payout and the amount which was frozen.
Okay. Question will be asked then why the account was frozen in the first place, but I'm going to come to my next placard. Should the law minister be held accountable in the Bofors case? Dr. Singhvi, Mr. Karthikeyan said that Rajiv Gandhi was an honest, courageous man, but there were people around him who wanted to be more loyal than the king. Is Mr. Bhardwaj also victim of the same syndrome? That he went out of his way to ensure that he could finish off the case?
Naturally, you don't expect an answer to such questions from me.
But should he be held accountable?
Highlight one very...
Who should be held accountable? Should he be held accountable?
No, you see, the person who, the organization which has today given, this is a very important point Mr. Karthikeyan made, give me a moment on it, I want to make a point there.
Yes.
I think the people who have to be held accountable, rightly or wrongly, are the people who are officially saying that we took a decision. That's the CBI. Now the crucial point is, and that's both a legal, political and factual point, the CBI says that the specific narrow question asked by British courts is, do you have proof, stroke evidence to show that this money from here is the money sitting in the account which we have frozen. The CBI on its own understanding gives an answer no. That does not mean that the CBI is saying that Q is guilty or Q is innocent.
Right. Okay, agreed.
Now the point of the matter is, today as far as the Congress is concerned, we'd be the happiest if somebody who is really guilty is caught. Why? Because for 20 years
sir,
the Congress party has been unnecessarily blind into
So
this.
I just want
Now,
to
there's
know.
nothing to do with anything else.
So I want to know one last time, is no one in the political executive responsible? Is the CBI to be held solely accountable now for the failure in a
Well,
sense?
the CBI is, well, you have to go by the official signed statement which says, the CBI says, we took a decision on the file, on a query to say this.
Okay.
Now that decision may be an erroneous one, but how can you hold anybody else accountable? Obviously, look at just 1 minute
No,
more.
no, I
This is
don't
a
have time,
Panchtantra
sir.
tale classic. If 10 Janpat says a word, we are interfering. If we keep quiet, there is silence. If the Prime Minister says a word, is interfering. If he keeps quiet, there is silence.
Okay.
It's a strange situation.
Agreed. I think you've explained the paradox rather well, but I'm going to give Prashant Bhushan the final word. 10 seconds, sir. Who should be held accountable? That's what the country wants to know. 95% saying the Bofors money has got away.
Certainly the law minister has to be held accountable. The CBI may also be accountable to some extent, but the law minister has admitted that he asked the law officer to go, that he took a decision himself. That
And you believe he exceeded his brief as a result?
Of course, because why were the accounts frozen? Obviously they were frozen because there was evidence to show that they were linked to the Bofors money. Not only that, the accounts can also be frozen against a proclaimed offender or against a person who is evading the course of justice. His accounts can be attached.
Okay, final word from all of you has come through. The viewer though has spoken through the SMS poll. 95% of you believe that the Bofors money has got away. It's a sad day yet again that it appears yet another case of political corruption and we don't know really who was responsible. Ironically, no one is even being held accountable. Thank you all very much for joining us on Face the Nation tonight. But before we end our defining moment, we leave you with the images of someone who's brought great pleasure to us.